Okay, good afternoon, everybody.
Individuals involved in the strike interviewed during this investigation truly believed at the time that they were targeting an imminent threat to U.S. forces on HKIA. The intended target of the strike, the vehicle, the white Corolla, its contents and occupant, were genuinely assessed at the time to be a threat to U.S. forces. That assessment was primarily driven by interpretation of intelligence and correlating that to observed movement throughout an 8-hour window in which the vehicle was tracked throughout the day before it was ultimately struck. Regrettably, the interpretation or the correlation of the intelligence to what was being perceived at the time in real time was inaccurate. In fact, the vehicle, its occupant, and contents did not pose any risk to U.S. forces.
A few days before, and the belief that they were connected, did it?
In addition, the assessment prior to strike at the compound at which the vehicle was struck of the individuals in the area itself was inaccurate. And you're probably going, duh, we know that given the results. But it's inaccurate in the sense that when you do the analysis, you can see that there are opportunities to potentially conduct the assessment more carefully given time. So therefore, it was inaccurate given what was known at the time.
Where was the strike cell that you're talking about? Where were they physically located?
The investigation found no violation of law, including the law of war. Did find execution errors confirmed by combined with confirmation bias and communication breakdowns that regrettably led to civilian casualties.
Are you saying that if they had stepped outside the bubble and consulted people, they may have learned?
You have to put yourself into the conditions that existed at the time. And what I mean by that is the risk to force at HKIA and the multiple threat streams that they were receiving of an imminent attack, mindful that 3 days prior such an attack took place where we lost 13 soldiers or lost 13 members and a lot of Afghan civilians.
2 minutes before the strike, when you reviewed the tapes, you saw that there were children. One child. In real time.
Yeah.
Did anybody watching the feed see that child, or did all of this awareness come after the fact?
After the fact. So they 100% did not pick up on the child, and it's not because they said that. Again, I have their chats from the time preserved. We have their comms. We have their testimony under oath, and what they perceived to exist at the compound at the time did not include any women or children.
Last question.
Toyota that was threat to the U.S. forces?
So the ability for defense had declined. We're concentrated in one location with a lot of threat streams indicating imminent attacks that look similar to the attack that happened 3 days prior. So you can imagine the stress on the force is high and the risk to force is high. And not appreciating what I'm about to say through that lens, I think, would be inappropriate.